A new day dawns, and with it comes the chance to draw closer to God in prayer, where we find direction, comfort, and courage inspired by the psalm. We raise a new song for His wonders, asking that His victory and righteous reign guide our steps so that our whole life becomes praise. Let us listen to the word of the Lord in the psalm, a royal hymn of anonymous authorship that proclaims God's victory and His just rule over the earth. Verse by verse, the psalmist declares that the Lord has revealed His salvation and His justice before the nations, calling all peoples and creation itself to burst into joy. May this psalm awaken in us the longing to sing a new song, to live with gratitude, and to walk in righteousness, so that our works reflect His faithfulness. Sing to the Lord a new song, for He has done marvelous things. His right hand and His holy arm have given Him victory. The Lord has made His salvation known and revealed His righteousness to the nations. He has remembered His love and faithfulness to Israel, and all the ends of the earth have seen the victory of our God. Shout for joy to the Lord, all the earth. Burst into jubilant song with music. Sing praises to the Lord with the harp and the sound of melody, with trumpets and the blast of the horn. Shout for joy before the Lord the King. Let the sea resound and everything in it, the world and all who live in it. Let the rivers clap their hands. Let the mountains sing together for joy before the Lord, for He comes to judge the earth. He will judge the world in righteousness and the peoples with equity. Lord God, Heavenly Father, as the morning breaks, my soul awakens with You. I open my eyes and find that Your mercy has reached me again. This morning I want to join the chorus of creation and lift a new song. For You have done marvelous things, and Your holy arm has brought us victory. I do not come with elaborate words, but with the sincere heartbeat of one who knows You are King over nations, the Lord of time, and the master of my story. I thank You for the gift of this day, for the air I breathe, for the hope You inspire, and for the certainty of Your just reign that sustains the world with equity. Today I desire that my life itself be a hymn that honors You, with my thoughts as melody, my decisions as rhythm, and my actions as harmony, proclaiming that You reign. Teach me to tune myself to Your will, to hear Your beat in the rush of the day, and to celebrate Your presence in simple things, in warm coffee, in the first ray of sunlight, in a greeting voice, and in the silence that invites me to reflect. I consecrate this morning to praise, because praise opens me to Your grace and reminds me that I do not walk alone, for Your salvation is not distant, but a living work that all nations can see. I take as my own the psalmist's call, shout for joy to the Lord, all the earth. May my home, my work, and my community become a small temple where gratitude resounds as the sea roars and the rivers clap their hands. If the mountains sing with joy before You, my soul too longs to applaud Your faithfulness and bow before Your majesty, that every heartbeat may be thanks, every step an offering, and every word an uplifting chord rising to Your throne. Lord, in this morning prayer I recognize You as the victor who fights unseen battles, the judge who brings balance where confusion reigns, and the shepherd who gently guides the lost. Your justice does not frighten me. It fills me with joy, because I know Your judgment is righteous and Your love is faithful. You never forget Your promises, but renew Your covenant each dawn. So at the start of this day I give You who I am and what I have, what I understand and what I do not yet comprehend, what excites me and what troubles me. Place Your hand on me and order all things according to Your wisdom. Renew my song today, Lord, for too often without noticing I repeat worn-out melodies of complaint, fear, and lifeless routine. But You invite me to a new song, to see with clear eyes, to wait with patience, to love with steadfastness. Let my tongue turn from murmuring to gratitude. Let my thoughts shift from the past to the future. You are preparing. May the victory the psalmist proclaimed be my banner too, not a triumph of pride, but the triumph of Your love that transforms, of Your truth that enlightens, and of Your peace that surpasses all understanding. Today I begin with steps of faith. Bless my responsibilities, my projects, and my encounters. Grant me serenity to accept what I cannot change, courage to face what I must resolve, and wisdom to know the difference. Keep me from the haste that makes me forget what is essential, and from the laziness that steals opportunities. Open my ears to hear your voice in the word, in my conscience, and in the timely advice of those who love me. Open my hands to serve with joy, for in serving I discover that my life sings louder. Lord, you who reign with justice over the nations, look upon our community. Bring unity where there is division, hope where there is apathy, and comfort where there is pain. Let faith not be words but a visible testimony, for as the psalmist declared, all the ends of the earth have seen the victory of our God. May those I meet today catch glimpses of your light in my attitude, of your compassion in my gestures, and of your strength in my convictions. May my honest dealings, kind words, and willing heart be like small trumpets announcing that you are King. And if today I face contrary winds, remind me that the sea may roar but never beyond your control. The rivers clap because they recognize you come to reign, and the mountains sing because creation celebrates your presence. And when I feel the weight of uncertainty, bring to my memory that your right hand upholds me, your holy arm defends me, and your victory is my refuge. May this certainty help me persevere in doing good and not return evil for evil, but answer with the gentleness that comes from your Spirit. I praise you, Lord, for what you have already done in my life and for what you will do today. Thank you for the doors you will open and for those you will close, for the clear answers and for the silences that invite me to trust. Thank you for the table shared, for honest work, for the challenges that teach me, and for the rest that restores me. Thank you, because in your just reign I find stability. I do not depend on whims or luck, I depend on your faithfulness that never fails. For this I lift my voice like a harp that vibrates at the touch of your grace, and my prayer like a horn that announces your presence. May this day become a symphony of praise. When I work, I will praise you. When I rest, I will praise you. When I reach goals, I will praise you. When I stumble, I will praise you. In all things, you deserve glory, and may every part of this day remind me of the Psalm's promise. You will govern the world with justice, and the nations with righteousness. There I rest, there I find strength, there I begin this day with my head lifted and my heart at peace. Receive me, Lord, just as I am, and make of me a finely tuned instrument in your hands. Take my fears and turn them into trust. Take my doubts and turn them into wisdom. Take my weariness and transform it into perseverance. And when evening comes, may I look back and recognize that you walked with me, and that this morning prayer was the first chord of a song that did not fade. I present it all to you with gratitude and faith, because your love sustains me and your victory inspires me to live for your glory. Here I am, Lord, breathing deeply this new morning, sensing your presence like a gentle breeze that orders my thoughts and quiets my heart. I do not see you with these eyes, but I recognize you in what awakens around me, in the light that defeats the night, in the silence that makes its way before the noise, in the certainty that your love never runs out. I draw near with reverence, not out of obligation, but out of hunger for you, because your goodness, renewed each day, sustains my story. When I grow tired of holding myself up, you are faithful, Lord, and your faithfulness does not depend on my changes of mood, but stands firm like a rock amid the waves that the day may bring. Today I want to acknowledge with gratitude that your presence is not an occasional visit or a fleeting spark. It is constant companionship, a guiding light, a table prepared in the middle of the road. When the psalmist proclaims that you have done marvelous things and made your salvation known, my soul answers, yes, it is true, because in my own life there are traces of you that I cannot deny. There were doors that opened when I had no keys, embraces that came when I thought I was alone, silences that taught me more than 1,000 speeches. And in all of them, you were there, discreet and powerful at the same time, leaning toward me with tenderness. Your goodness rescues me from discouragement. Lord, it is not a vague feeling, but a concrete work I can recount. The peace that returns when anxiety tries to take over, the forgiveness that restores broken relationships, the hope that springs up in dry places, the light that shines in confusing decisions. Your goodness is like the sun that warms even when clouds cover it. I may not always see it, but its heat reaches me and transforms the morning. That is why when Psalm 98 calls the whole earth to rejoice, I join without hesitation. My home, my street, my community, my tasks, and my dreams all become instruments of praise, because your presence dignifies the ordinary and your goodness perfumes the simple. Lord, in recognizing that you are here with me, I understand that I do not walk adrift. The justice proclaimed by the psalmist is not a threat to those who love you, but a comfort, for knowing that you judge with righteousness gives me rest. It reminds me that the final word belongs to your truth, not to passing rumors. If you govern with justice, then I can move forward without fear, work with integrity, speak with honesty, and decide with calm. Your presence corrects, and your goodness lifts. Your presence enlightens, and your goodness strengthens. Your presence reveals, and your goodness restores. This morning I ask that this double grace accompany me, that your gaze teach me what I must see, and your heart move me to act with mercy. Today I recognize you in the small signs I often overlook, in the laughter of children crossing my path, in the patience of one who serves, in the counsel that saves me from a fall, in the rest. You restore when I turn off the lights of the day. I recognize you in creation that applauds you. If the sea roars, it is because you hold its boundaries. If the rivers clap their hands, it is because you give them their course. If the mountains sing, it is because your presence fills them with meaning. How could I not join this chorus? How could I not offer you my voice, even if it sometimes falls out of tune? Today, Lord, I want to tune myself to your heartbeat, that my intentions not run ahead of your will or lag behind out of fear. Thank you for your goodness that does not run out because of my mistakes. How many times have I stumbled over the same stones? How many times have I confused hurry with fruitfulness? How many times have I allowed worry to steal my song? Yet still, you come near, take my hand, and teach me to walk again. Your goodness is not empty indulgence. It is strength that lifts me, gentle discipline that straightens me, wisdom that teaches me to distinguish what builds from what hinders. Teach me this morning to recognize your footsteps. When you stop me, it is not to deny me, but to protect me. When you urge me forward, it is not to agitate me, but to bring me to the safe harbor you have prepared. I recognize, Lord, that your presence also calls me to look beyond myself. It is not a refuge for isolation, but an impulse to go out and meet my brother. If you are here, then there is a word I must speak, a listening I must offer, a wound I can heal, a bridge I must build. Your goodness makes me a witness, because no one can remain the same after meeting the King who rules with righteousness. May my dealings today reflect something of your patience. May my hands be artisans of peace. May my decisions be marked by the justice celebrated in the psalm and the mercy that embraces without humiliating. Today, Lord, I choose to trust in your character more than in my circumstances, for your presence does not change with the climate of my emotions, and your goodness does not shrink when I feel small. You are the same, and in that stability I find rest. When I lack clarity, remind me not to chase every noise, but to remain on the rock of your word. When fatigue draws near, remind me that your joy is fresh oil upon my head. When the temptation to complain appears, teach me to count your wonders, not to deny what is difficult, but to remember that I am not abandoned. This morning I want it to be a simple altar, where I recognize that you are great and good. I have no gold or incense, but I have a willing heart. I have no perfect hymns, but I have a sincere spirit. Receive my praise as an offering, and let your goodness make me generous. If you have made your salvation known to the nations, I want to be part of that testimony. May my work be honest, my words be true, my rest be grateful, my decisions seek the common good, and my whole life be a sign that points to you, so that others too may say, "We have seen the victory of our God." And if today I face swollen rivers or high mountains, remind me that none of these lie outside of your song. Let the roar of the sea teach me to hear your voice above the noise. Let the applause of the rivers remind me that joy is not improvised, but cultivated in your presence. Let the chorus of the mountains keep my eyes lifted upward, where you reign with justice that cannot be bought or sold. Your goodness will be my shield, and your presence my direction. With this certainty, I step out to live this day, accompanied, sustained, and encouraged by the King who reigns with righteousness and whose mercy never ends. So I acknowledge, Lord, that you are here and that you are good. Let this truth make me humble enough to ask for help, brave enough to do good, and persevering enough not to give up. Thank you for the privilege of beginning this day with you. Thank you for the honor of singing a new song. Thank you for the assurance that your justice and love walk by my side. I surrender to your guidance. I rejoice in your company, and I rest in your faithfulness. May every hour that follows be a measure where your name is exalted and your goodness experienced. As I open my eyes, I understand that this new day is a blank canvas you place before me, ready to be painted with faith, obedience, and praise. I do not want to start with the rush that erases what is essential, but with the wonder of someone who receives an undeserved gift. Today I choose to sing a new song, not out of habit, but because you continue to do marvelous things. Your holy arm sustains me when I falter. Thank you for this morning that smells of hope. For though yesterday had shadows, today light returns, and with it comes confidence that your victory defines my story more than my failures, my doubts, or my fears. I want to see this day as an opportunity and not a burden. If the psalm calls all the earth to applaud, then let my tasks, my pauses, and my encounters also applaud you. May my schedule be a score where each commitment carries the rhythm of your will. May my thoughts form melodies of gratitude and not laments, and may my decisions mark the rhythm of your justice and not my impulsiveness. Thank you for work that dignifies, for rest that restores, for learning that corrects, for challenges that shape me. Thank you for what I understand and for what I still cannot grasp, because even in what escapes me, you are working with wisdom. Today I give thanks for the simple things that become sacred when I offer them to you, the bread of each day, the shared greeting, the honest conversation, the open door, the chance to serve. I also thank you for the great things that overwhelm me and teach me to trust the problem I cannot fully resolve, the decision that demands maturity, the waiting that stretches my patience. I thank you for the people you place beside me, because through them you sustain and correct me. And I thank you as well for those who challenge me, because they push me to grow in humility, gentleness, and perseverance. Everything can become praise when I see it from the perspective of your reign. Teach me, Lord, to recognize the signs of your triumph on today's path. The psalm declares that you made your salvation known and revealed your justice to the nations. For this reason, I do not want to reduce your work to my changing emotions. Your victory does not depend on my mood. Your kingdom does not waver even if I tremble. When I feel the sea roar with matters that disturb me, remind me that this roar too is part of the concert that exalts you. When I meet powerful rivers of responsibility, I will see them clap because you give them their course. When I stand before mountains of decisions, I will believe they can sing because before them stands the King who reigns with righteousness. This certainty frees me from fear and makes me grateful even before I see the results. Thank you, Lord, for rescuing my heart from the complaints that steal its song. When my mind wants to repeat old verses of discouragement, you invite me to sing a new melody, to recount your wonders, remember your faithfulness, and celebrate your small gestures of love that I often overlook. I resolve to practice gratitude as a discipline of the soul, to give thanks before I eat, before I leave, before I decide, to give thanks even for what I did not ask for yet came as an answer, to give thanks for the doors you open and for those you close, to protect me, to give thanks for the people who arrive and for those who leave, leaving behind lessons. Gratitude tunes my ear to hear your voice and strengthens my heart to walk in righteousness. Today I also thank you for my story, with its lights and its cracks. There are chapters that weigh me down and others I would rather forget, but both in your hands become testimony. If I failed, thank you for the correction that brought me back. If I succeeded, thank you for the grace that enabled me. If I grew weary, thank you for the rest you prepared. If I rose again, thank you for the strength you gave. Your just reign embraces my past. Your mercy surrounds my present, and your promise illuminates my future. That is why this day, though unknown, does not frighten me, for I walk with the one who judges with justice and guides with truth. Permit me, Lord, to live this morning with the eyes of a pilgrim who gives thanks for every sign. If I meet someone who needs to be heard, let my gratitude become listening. If I discover a small injustice around me, let my gratitude become commitment. If an opportunity for reconciliation arises, let my gratitude be a bridge. If a task appears that no one wants to take, let my gratitude become service. I want the new song to be visible in my actions, in patience in traffic, in kindness when answering, in prudence when giving opinions, in integrity at work. May this be my concrete way of acclaiming the Lord, the King. Thank you for the gift of words that can be harp or trumpet depending on how I use them. Today I choose to speak life, hope, and truth. I choose to keep silent when words would wound and not build. I choose to sing of your goodness even in difficult conversations. May my words become instruments tuned to your character, firm without harshness, clear without pride, tender without weakness. And when words are lacking, may silence also be praise that honors you, for trust is another way of singing. Lord, I thank you for the goals of this day and even for the interruptions that may come, for both can draw me closer to you. If I accomplish what I planned, let it not fill me with pride. If something fails, let it not sink me in frustration. In both cases, remind me that my identity rests in your victory, not in my results. Thank you for the time you give me. May I not waste it on what does not nourish, but invest it in what endures. Give me wisdom to distinguish the urgent from the important, to prioritize what reflects your justice and love over what merely feeds my ego. I also thank you, Lord, for the promises that sustain me. You will govern the world with justice and the nations with righteousness. This truth allows me to release control that tires me so much. Today I place in your hands my concerns for the community, my desire to see peace, my longing for paths of dignity to open. I cannot resolve everything, but I can be faithful in what is mine to do. And that fidelity, offered with gratitude, is already a clear note in the hymn the whole earth sings before you. Let my heart not forget to thank you also for your forgiveness. How many times has your mercy given me a new chance when I saw only endings? How many times has your truth corrected me with firmness and tenderness? How many times has your presence held me on the edge of exhaustion? Today I do not take this love for granted. I thank you with awareness, knowing that without you the song fades. Thank you for drawing me into the light, for straightening my steps, for keeping me from choices that would have bound me, and for bringing me near to people who pointed me toward your way. And so, Lord, I present myself to this day with open hands. I receive its hours as talents to be multiplied, and return to you with joy. I do not want to reach the night with the sense of having run without direction. I want to arrive with the peace of having lived in your presence, of having thanked you for your favors, of having sought your justice. May the new song of the psalm not be just a memorized verse, but the rhythm guiding my day, celebrating your victory, proclaiming your salvation with my life, letting my story become an echo of your faithfulness, so that others too may join the chorus. For all this I give you thanks, Lord. Thank you for this morning and for all it will bring. Thank you for the guidance of your Spirit, the light of your word, and the strength you give me to walk today. I choose gratitude as my posture, praise as my language, and trust as my step. With that spirit, I am ready to live this day for your glory, knowing that before you, righteous King, nothing is in vain, and everything can become worship. Lord, when the psalm invites me to sing a new song because you have done marvelous things, my heart walks through the pages of Scripture and finds faces that become mirrors for my own path. I see men and women who learn to acclaim you in the midst of roaring seas, to trust in your righteous reign when all seemed uncertain, to turn their wounds into hymns and their nights into vigils of praise. I too want to learn from them, so that by remembering your victories in their stories, my faith may be kindled and my voice join the symphony creation lifts before you. I think of Peter, impulsive and sincere, who once denied you out of fear, yet was restored by your mercy. That fisherman did not hear a bitter reproach from your lips, but a renewed call. Feed my sheep. When the psalmist proclaims that your right hand and holy arm have given you the victory, I see Peter at Pentecost, standing firm and unshaken, boldly declaring that you reign. His fall was not the end, but the prelude to a new song. And I, who at times grow discouraged by my stumbles, take this example as balm. You too do wonders with my fragility and invite me to sing even when shame tries to silence me. Grant me, Lord, the grace of Peter to rise again and proclaim your salvation with simplicity and strength. I look at Daniel, who in a foreign land chose to honor you without compromise. His 3 daily prayers were the harp that tuned his soul. His bent knees were silent trumpets announcing your kingdom in a culture that did not know you. When he was thrown into the lion's den, he did not respond with cries but with trust, and at dawn when he was found alive, the news spread like a trumpet blast through the nations. The God of Daniel is the living God. So too, the psalm declares that you have made your salvation known and revealed your justice to the nations. I ask you, Lord, let my faithfulness in small things become a visible witness, that my life may speak of your justice without arrogance, that my integrity may blow like a refreshing breeze and not like a wind that destroys. If ever I feel in a den, remind me that your presence closes lions' mouths and opens doors of hope. I contemplate Joseph, son of Jacob, sold, falsely accused, forgotten in prison, yet keeping a heart free of bitterness. He learned to see your hand in dreams and in silences, in ascents and in descents. You took his broken story and turned it into a melody that saved many from famine. At the end, when he had the power to take revenge, he chose to forgive. And in that forgiveness, your just reign shone. The psalm teaches me that your justice brings joy, not fear. Joseph's story reminds me that in your hands, injustice does not have the last word. Teach me to wait as he did, to steward wisely what you entrust, to see in every turn of my life a measure where you continue conducting the orchestra of your purpose. I see Esther, who discovered that her beauty was not ornament, but a tool in the service of your plan. She entered before the king with both fear and courage, interceding for her people, and the announced death was turned into a feast. Her story is a trumpet proclaiming that you raise instruments where others see only fragility. The psalm calls all the earth to celebrate with harps and horns. I ask you, Lord, make my life an instrument that does not play for my glory but for your justice. May I, like Esther, understand the purpose of this time in my life and respond with faithfulness, knowing that your victory does not humiliate but preserves life and restores dignity. And how could I not remember Mary, who sang, "My soul proclaims the greatness of the Lord." Her young song joined the eternal chorus of creation, and her simple faith made room for your presence. She embraced your will without understanding every note, and her "Let It Be" became a melody that even now teaches us to trust. Psalm 98 speaks of a new song for your wonders. Mary shows me that the new song is born from humility and availability that allow you to write the score. Lord, let my obedience be music that pleases you, my silence a pause that honors you, and my steps, though small, follow the rhythm of your grace. I think of David, who danced with all his strength before the ark. Some judged him for his enthusiasm, but his heart knew that no dignity is greater than recognizing you as king. David knew battles, deserts, and tears, yet his psalms poured forth like rivers clapping their hands. He did not hide his brokenness, but turned it into prayer. He did not deny his guilt, but surrendered it to your mercy and found in you a refuge that restored his song. Lord, let my praise not be timid out of fear of others. Let my repentance not hide out of pride. Let my joy not fade into routine. Teach me, like David, to turn what I live into a sincere song, to name my shadows so that your light may overcome them, to celebrate your presence without measuring the cost of my heart. I pause at Hannah, who wept bitterly because her longing seemed barren. In the temple she poured out her soul before you, and her silent plea was more eloquent than 1,000 speeches. You heard her cry, and she answered with a song that celebrated your justice. You raised the poor from the dust. Psalm 98 says, you govern the nations with righteousness. Hannah understood that your reign leans toward those unseen by the world. Lord, Teach my heart to pray like hers with persevering trust when my petitions seem delayed. Let me not grow bitter, but discover that in waiting, you are forming in me a deeper song, one that no longer revolves around what I want, but around what you desire to give to bless many. I remember Nehemiah, who heard of broken walls and did not remain in lament. He wept, fasted, prayed, and then rose to rebuild. His practical courage inspires me. Praise is not escape, it is fuel for faithful work. The psalm calls the mountains to sing together for joy before you who come to reign. Nehemiah teaches me that such joy is proven with hands that build, eyes that watch, and hearts that do not grow distracted. Lord, as I sing a new song, prepare me to lay stone upon stone where it is needed, to close gaps in my community, to be a guardian of what edifies and an enemy of what divides. I see Deborah, prophetess and judge, who encouraged a people paralyzed by fear. She stood up and sang of your victory before it was fully seen. Her song was a harp that summoned hope and a trumpet that scattered cowardice. I ask you, Lord, to grant me such timely words that ignite hearts, that my voice not echo fears but announce your righteous reign. If Psalm 98 urges all the earth to cry out in praise, I want to be part of that call that awakens others from spiritual slumber and pushes them to trust in you. I picture Paul and Silas in prison, their feet in chains, their backs wounded, yet singing. They did not sing because the doors were open, they sang because you were present. And as they sang, the foundations shook and the chains fell, and the jailer, confused and moved, found life. This story resounds with Psalm 98, when your salvation is revealed, all the ends of the earth see your victory. Lord, when my night grows long, remind me of this midnight song. May I not wait for the bars to open to adore you, but sing now, letting your power turn my praise into a key for me and a light for others. I turn my eyes to the blind man Bartimaeus, sitting by the roadside, crying out your name despite those who tried to silence him. You stopped, restored his sight, and he followed you with joy. At times I too feel like I sit by the side, accustomed to the dimness of my habits. Bartimaeus teaches me that there is a cry that is not complaint but faith, a plea that pierces the crowd and reaches you. Psalm 98 invites me to shout for joy, and I want to shout like Bartimaeus, with insistence that does not give up, with conviction that your passing changes destinies, with certainty that your justice does not exclude but heals and gathers. I imagine the man by the beautiful gate who received strength in his feet and leapt up praising. His leap was more than euphoria, it was testimony. None could deny what had happened, and all saw, as the psalm says, the victory of our God. Lord, heal in me what is paralyzed, halted decisions, postponed dreams, sleeping courage, so that in experiencing your touch, I may not return to silent routine, but walk, leap, and praise you with deeds that speak for themselves. May my face tell what my words cannot explain. May my steps show others that your justice is good news. I climbed the hillside with the shepherds who heard the announcement of your glory at night. They were simple men watching their flock, and you made them the first listeners and first messengers. They returned glorifying and praising you for what they had seen and heard. The psalm calls all the earth to celebrate, and the shepherds teach me that celebration begins in the ordinary, in faithful watchfulness, in the simplicity that does not boast. Lord, let my workplace be my hillside, so that in the midst of daily tasks, your announcement may be heard, and let me return home telling of your wonders with humble joy. I approached the table of Zacchaeus, the small man who climbed a tree to see you. You lifted your gaze, called him by name, and went to his house, and that visit transformed his way of living. Zacchaeus responded with concrete justice, restoring and sharing. The psalm proclaims that you reign with righteousness, and Zacchaeus is living proof that your presence straightens what is crooked, not with force, but with love that transforms. Lord, enter my house today and turn my gratitude into just actions, my joy into generosity, my song into decisions that dignify others. I cannot forget the woman who poured perfume on your feet, misunderstood by many, but defended by you. Her gesture was a song without words, a harp of fragrance that filled the house. She understood that true worship does not calculate cost, but surrenders to the beauty of the one who deserves all. The psalm calls for melodious songs. I offer you the perfume of my time, my best energy, and my inner treasures. May my devotion not be a rumor, but a fragrance that honors you. Let my offering be true. Let my song not be noise, but love. I think of Noah, who after the flood built an altar and offered gratitude. The sea had roared with power, but you contained it. The rivers returned to their course, and the mountains rose as witnesses of your promise. The rainbow in the sky was the signature of your faithfulness. Psalm 98 calls all creation to join the song. Noah teaches me to raise altars after the storm, not to go on as if nothing had happened, but to stop and recognize your reign over the waters and over my story. Lord, when my storm passes, let me not forget to give thanks, to consecrate the new beginning with praise and commitment. I also contemplate Ruth, foreigner and faithful, who chose loyalty without guarantees. Her path of gleaning behind the reapers ended in inheritance and blessing. Her small story in the eyes of the world was woven into the great story of salvation. The psalm proclaims that all the ends of the earth have seen your victory. Ruth reminds me that your triumph is woven in the ordinary, in constancy and concrete love. Lord, let my faithfulness in the small things open space for your grace. Let my unnoticed service be seed in your hands, for fruit I cannot yet imagine. And I turn again to the psalmist himself, who summons us with his words. Behind them is a heart that knew both your power and your tenderness, a heart that did not separate justice from joy, nor kingship from mercy. His invitation to trumpets and harps, to rivers and mountains, teaches me that praise is a chorus no one sings alone. Today I want to tune myself with your people, with my community, with the nations. I want my voice to join the many voices declaring that you reign. And let that union be not only liturgy, but shared life service that builds and compassion that unites. Lord, I take these examples as points of connection with my own reality. When I lack courage, I will remember Peter. When culture pushes in another direction, I will look to Daniel. When injustice touches me, I will learn from Joseph. When silent obedience is required, I will be inspired by Esther. When shame wants to silence me, I will imitate Mary. When waiting grows long, I will dance like David. When ruin discourages me, I will pray like Hannah. When fear paralyzes, I will rebuild with Nehemiah. When night surrounds me, I will sing with Paul and Silas. When routine numbs me, I will shout with Bartimaeus. When strength returns, I will leap like the healed man. When the day feels ordinary, I will rejoice like the shepherds. When greed whispers, I will answer like Zacchaeus. When cost feels heavy, I will remember the woman with the perfume. When the storm passes, I will build like Noah. When I feel like a foreigner, I will walk like Ruth. And in all of them, the melody is the same. You have done marvelous things. You have made your salvation known. You will come to judge with righteousness. For this, Lord, I offer you my song. It is not perfect, but it is true. It is not grand, but it is whole. It is the song of one who has seen rivers clap their hands and mountains rejoice, who has heard the sea roar and yet has found peace in your reign. It is the song of a heart that longs for your justice to be established in its life and in its community, and that desires to be part of the cosmic celebration Psalm 98 describes. Receive, righteous King, this praise. Etch these examples into my memory as notes that sustain me when I forget the melody, so that each morning I may choose again to sing the new song of your victory. Righteous King, who rules with equity, I come asking your direction for this day that begins and for the paths that open before me. You who made your salvation known and revealed your justice to the nations, reveal also your will in my concrete decisions. Clarify my priorities, order my affections, straighten my intentions. I want to choose what honors your name, even when my heart pushes me toward what is immediate or convenient. Give me clear eyes to discern the doors you open and the prudence not to force those you have closed for my good. May your light, like the faithful dawn, shine upon my steps so that I may not stumble in my shadows or be distracted by illusions. I present to you, Lord, my work with its challenges and opportunities. You know the tasks that await me, the deadlines that press me, the meetings that will mark this day. Place in my hands the diligence that turns duty into offering, and in my mind the creativity that finds solutions where others see only dead ends. Guard me from the temptation to answer harshly under pressure. Teach me to guard my words, that even in haste my tone may be a bridge and not a wall. Let my effort be honest, my rest sober, my success not arrogant, and my mistakes not crushing. If the sea of work roars, let it roar to acclaim you, reminding me that I am not at the mercy of the waves, but under your reign that sets their boundaries. I also place before you, Lord, my finances with their numbers and concerns. You know what is in the purse and what is lacking at the table. You see what I plan and what I fear. Give us our daily bread and the wisdom to manage it. Deliver me from the anxiety that steals peace and from the neglect that brings scarcity. Teach me to live with gratitude when there is abundance and with trust when there is need. Keep me from becoming a slave to consumption or a prisoner of appearances. Teach me to share generously, to save wisely, to invest with the good of others in mind. If the river of resources seems to run low, let my hands still clap in faith, for you are a faithful provider, and your mercy never fails. I bring before you, Father, my relationships, the family that formed me, the friends who sustain me, the colleagues who challenge me, the community that embraces me. Where there are misunderstandings, give me humility to listen and courage to ask forgiveness. Where there is distance, grant me patience to build bridges. Where trust has broken, show me the small step that begins restoration. Let my love not remain only feelings, but become concrete gestures, a timely message, a visit that consoles, a silence that heals, a word of counsel given with gentleness. Reign, Lord, in my home. Cover my loved ones with your protection. Set a guard over our words. Preserve the tenderness that binds us. Strengthen our ties when fatigue or stress threaten to weaken them. Let the justice that brings joy to the nations bring balance and peace also to our tables. I ask for your guidance, Lord, in those decisions too large. For any list, the vocation that clarifies little by little, the project that demands faith, the move that approaches, the study that requires perseverance, the opportunity that knocks without warning. If I must move forward, give me strength. If I must wait, give me calm. If I must renounce, give me inner freedom. Let me not call fear prudence when it is truly paralysis, nor call impulsiveness faith when it is truly whim. Let your word be a lamp to my feet and your spirit the wind in the sails of my small boat. And because I know your will is also transformation, I present myself, Lord, as clay in the hands of the potter. Here are my rough edges, reactions that wound, quick judgments, sensitivities that raise walls, habits that steal freshness. Here are my cracks, painful memories, guilt that keeps my head low, wounds still healing. Take me, Lord, and knead my clay again with living water. Break what must be broken, soften what is hard, remove what hinders, add what is lacking. If the wheel of life spins faster than I can understand, let me not grow dizzy but trust your steady hands. If the furnace of trials burns hotter than I would like, let me not complain but learn how your fire matures my character and strengthens my form. Make of me, good potter, a vessel for your glory, useful in your house, able to contain and pour out your grace. Breathe, Lord, upon my inner world. Renew my mind, order my thoughts, heal wounded emotions, bring peace to rebellious memories. Uproot bitterness and plant gentleness. Uproot envy and plant contentment. Uproot pride and plant humility. Uproot despair and plant steady joy, the kind that makes no noise yet sustains. Open windows for your light to enter the rooms I have not yet allowed you to illuminate. Open doors for forgiveness to walk through corridors where reproaches piled up. Open spaces of silence where necessary words were drowned. Let your justice not only govern my outward actions but reorder my inner being, so that what I say and what I am may march in the same rhythm. I ask for your protection, Lord, for this day. Guard my coming in and my going out. Watch over my paths. Protect my mind from confusing ideas, my heart from enslaving emotions, my hands from deeds that do not belong. Place your peace as a wall around my family. Keep far what steals, divides, or poisons. Frustrate plans that do not align with your truth. Scatter traps I cannot see. Let the shield of your goodness cover my vulnerabilities, and let your justice be like a belt around me, so that I may walk upright amid pressures. If storms rise, let the mountains of my faith sing together with joy, because before you no tempest rules. I also bring to you, Lord, my most stubborn weaknesses, those that return like waves. I do not want to grow accustomed to them or excuse them. I want to face them with you. Give me discipline that perseveres when motivation fades, constancy that learns from small steps, vigilance that closes doors before temptation enters. When I fall, lift me without cynicism. When I succeed, keep me humble. When I advance, anchor my joy in you and not in my merits. Let my story echo the psalm. If all the ends of the earth have seen the victory of our God, then may those around me see in my concrete changes a glimpse of that same victory. Teach my tongue, Lord, to be a harp that comforts and not a whip that strikes. Set a guard on my lips, that they may not spread rumors, mock the weak, or inflame quarrels with sterile words. Let my words be like trumpets that proclaim truth with charity, that defend the absent, that block the path of injustice, that lift the weary, and that also know how to fall silent when silence builds and listening heals. I want the music of my life to sound in tune with you, and the chorus of my actions to support the melody of my words. Over my health, Lord, stretch out your hand with wisdom and tenderness. You know what hurts and what troubles. Guide those who care for me. Bless the efforts of those who serve. Strengthen what is weak. Protect what is at risk. If there are treatments, be present in them. If there are new habits to adopt, sustain them. If there are limitations, teach me to live with them without losing hope. Let fragility not drag me down. Let fatigue not steal prayer. Let discomfort not blind me to the good you continue to do. And when health flourishes, let me not forget to give thanks, nor fail to be sensitive to those walking through their own valley. I ask, Lord, for those I love, family and friends. Accompany their days, guard their rest, illuminate their decisions, strengthen their bonds, console their tears. If any walk in dryness, pour out streams of your joy. If any live in confusion, grant them clarity. If there are old wounds, bring balm and the chance of reconciliation. Let our homes sing together, even in trial. Let us clap for your faithfulness, even in small things. Let us celebrate like rivers and mountains in your enduring presence. May our doors bear witness to your righteous reign by the way we treat each other, by the way we share, by the way we face adversity. Lord, I ask that this personal transformation not remain only desire. Give me new habits to sustain what I ask of you today. Faithful times of prayer, real spaces of listening to your word, concrete acts of service, honest self-examination, friendships that encourage holiness, moments of rest that restore serenity. Let every morning renew the new song of the psalm, and every evening find me grateful for your reign over my life. May my decisions acclaim you, my work celebrate you, my art adore you, my character reflect you, and step by step, let it be visible that you are doing marvelous things, and that your holy arm continues to win what I cannot win alone. Before you, righteous King, I surrender in trust. Take my fears, direct my paths, guard my loved ones, shape my clay, ripen my fruit, tune my song. Let it be evident in me today that your salvation is real, and that at the end of this day I may say with certainty, the Lord has ruled with justice, and my whole life has celebrated him. Lord, King who rules with righteousness and equity, today I lift my voice not only for myself, but for those who walk beside me, and for those I do not know but whose lives are in your heart. If the psalm calls all the earth to shout with joy and sing before you, then let my prayer embrace my neighbor, my community and the nations, so that your salvation may be seen in every place where there is pain, need, or confusion. Let my cry be like a harp that comforts and like a trumpet that announces hope over those enduring a long night. I intercede, Lord, for those who awaken today under the weight of illness. Look upon those in hospital beds, those weary from treatments, those who care for the sick with silent love. Sustain doctors, nurses, those who clean, arrange, and accompany. Grant them patience, skill, and compassion. Strengthen fragile bodies. Calm the minds of those who are afraid. Ease the pain that wears them down. Let the light of your presence enter those rooms, like a dawn that does not hurry but never fails, so that even in waiting the song of your faithfulness may be heard. Grant families serenity to decide with wisdom, rest in the midst of watchfulness, and that oil of joy that does not ignore tears but also does not surrender to them. I intercede for those who struggle with wounds of the soul, anxiety that tightens, sadness that clouds, guilt that accuses, memories that weigh heavily. Lord, you who judge with righteousness and do not condemn the contrite heart, stretch out your hand, order the scattered mind, quiet the restless spirit, renew hope where weariness has taken root. Send true embraces, listening ears, words that do not judge, and moments of presence that restore dignity. If the sea of emotions roars, let it roar before your throne and grow calm at your voice. Let the rivers of the mind clap their hands because your peace directs them, and let the mountains of the heart sing because your reign brings balance. I bring before you, Father, those without work or who have recently lost it. You know the anguish of an empty table and the silence of phones that do not ring. Open just doors, create dignified opportunities, inspire honest initiatives, protect them from solutions that enslave and from offers that corrupt. Give favor in interviews, clarity for those who start anew, perseverance for those in training, and for those who already work, grant integrity and joy. Let them not give in to routine, but let their labor become praise and not mere burden. Bless those who lead teams, those who make decisions, those who take risks, those who work with their hands. Let the justice proclaimed in the psalm be the measure for contracts, schedules, salaries, and treatment. Let gratitude be the atmosphere that humanizes workplaces. I intercede for children and youth. Protect them in their innocence. Guard their steps, watch over their surroundings, keep them safe from every abuse, deceit, or violence. Surround them with adults who look upon them with respect and responsibility. Awaken in their minds a love of truth, in their hearts a delight in goodness, in their hands generosity. Bless parents and caregivers with wisdom, patience, and firm love, that their homes, even with limitations, may be refuges where your name is spoken with joy. Look also upon the elderly. Honor their gray hairs with companionship, with listening, with dignifying care. Let them not feel pushed aside. Let their stories be celebrated as living heritage, and let their faith be a lighthouse for generations. I present before you those on the margins, the homeless, migrants on their journey, prisoners trying to rebuild their lives, women and men wounded by violence, those suffering in loneliness. Lord, let your justice, which does not humiliate but restores, reach them in concrete actions. A plate of food, a hand extended, a job opportunity, a process of reconciliation, an embrace that asks no needless questions but stays with them. Raise up willing hearts in my community to see, to draw near, and to serve. Open paths for policies that protect and make the common good possible, so that in our streets and plazas an echo of the psalm may be heard. The Lord has made his salvation known, because compassion has become visible. I intercede, Lord, for teachers and learners. Bless teachers with renewed vocation, with sufficient resources, with fair conditions. Give them creativity to awaken minds and tenderness to accompany growth. Sustain students with discipline and curiosity. Remove distractions that steal their future. Provide what is necessary so that no one is left out for lack of means. Let knowledge become service and education a road to freedom. Inspire researchers, creators, artists, and guardians of culture, that their gifts may become a new song that lifts the spirit of the people. I look, Lord, to those who administer justice and those who guard security. Grant righteousness to judges, honesty to officials, prudence to lawmakers, and a deep sense of the common good to all who serve the public. Uproot corruption from its roots. Bring light to what is hidden. Strengthen those who stand firm. Protect those who guard others from abuse and temptation. Let their authority be service, their strength a shelter for the weak. May your justice, which brings joy to the world, inspire human decisions that defend life, truth, and peace. I intercede for communities of faith, for the church spread across neighborhoods and cities, in villages and mountains. Lord, purify our intentions, heal our divisions, rekindle our charity. May our temples be open houses where hunger is fed, guilt finds forgiveness, and loneliness finds company. Teach us to sing together not only with voices but with deeds, so that the new song of the psalm is heard in how we treat the small, listen to the wounded, lift up the fallen, and accompany those who seek. Give us pastors after your own heart, discreet servants, prophets who speak with gentleness and firmness, faithful ones who live their faith in public with humility and consistency. I cry out for peace among the nations. Quench the fires of violence, disarm old resentments, halt the spiral of hatred. Open tables of dialogue, inspire just agreements, protect the innocent, sustain those who work for reconciliation, those who risk their safety to build paths of encounter. Let the rivers of the nations clap their hands, not for the triumph of some over others, but because your justice has established equity and your truth has set limits to lies. Let the mountains sing because there is bread, education, health, and opportunity. Let the sea roar with joy, because life is respected from its beginning to its natural end, and because neighbors are seen as brothers, not as threats. I intercede for creation that groans, Lord, for the earth, the seas, the rivers, the forests, the animals, all you made good belongs to you. Teach me to manage, not exploit, to care, not consume without measure. Let our personal and economic decisions reflect respect for the work of your hands. If in the psalm all creation joins the chorus, grant me to live in such a way that its song is not silenced by our indifference, but harmonized by our responsibility. I present to you, Father, those who weep, families in mourning, broken homes, lost friendships, projects that failed. Send true consolation, not easy words. Bring companionship that stays, not promises that fade. To those who have hurt, open paths of reparation. To those who have been hurt, grant the grace to forgive without denying justice. Let the judgment you bring be balm that restores, not hammer that destroys, reconciliation where possible and protection where needed. Look, Lord, upon those who serve in silence, those who sweep streets, who transport people and goods, who tend shops, who keep systems running that few notice. Grant them visible dignity, fair treatment, sincere recognition. Let no one feel invisible. Let every task, however small, sound like a note in the new song that honors you. I also pray for those with influence in media, in platforms, in spaces of opinion. Let them love truth more than popularity. Strive to build rather than divide. Let their words be responsible, not fuel for hatred. Bless those who tell stories that heal, who report with rigor, who entertain without degrading, who educate without manipulating. Let communication be a bridge, not a pit like a harp that unites, not a trumpet that deafens. Lord, in this intercession I bring what I see and what I cannot see. Arrange what is disordered, lift what has fallen, prune what has grown without shape, water where life is lacking. And if my prayer feels small before so many cries, remind me that I do not sing alone, the whole earth sings. The seas, the rivers, and the mountains join you in this symphony of hope. Let my community learn to celebrate your reign by seeking concrete justice. Let the nations learn to live in peace, giving account with integrity. Let the neighbor who suffers today find in us willing hands, and in you, Lord, the embrace that never ends. And so, Lord, you who have made your salvation known and revealed your justice, continue to do so today in our streets, in our homes, in our workplaces, in our schools, in our plazas. Let the song not be silenced. Let hope not be surrendered. Let the joy of your kingdom find its place among us. Before you, the King who comes to rule the earth. I bow down and say to you, take these prayers and turn them into works and into daily miracles, so that all the ends of the earth may once again see the victory of our God. Lord, at the dawn of this day, I come before you desiring to grow, knowing that Your purpose is not for me to remain the same, but to be transformed from glory to glory by your work within me. If Psalm 98 calls me to sing a new song for your wonders, today I understand that this song is also my life changing in tone, tuning itself to your will, leaving behind the old notes of selfishness and fear to embrace a melody of maturity, service, and holiness. I do not want to conform to what has always been. I want you to renew my mind, correct my inner patterns, and teach me to discern what pleases you, what is right and perfect in your sight. I begin with my thoughts, Lord. You know how often my mind runs down paths of suspicion, criticism, or anxiety. Come and order them, as one who channels a river, so that it claps its hands rather than destroys. Plant in me habits of contemplation and of prayerful reading of your word, that I may not only know it, but allow myself to be known by it. I want my inner dialogue to become fertile ground for your truth. When lies appear, let them be unmasked. When comparison arises, let me remember your unique love. When vanity swells, let it be lowered by your radiant humility. Teach me to filter what I consume, what I repeat, what I share. Let my intelligence be a harp that sings wisdom, not a drum that repeats noise. Touch my character, Father. There are still reactions that speak louder than my convictions, sensitivities easily wounded, angers that seek excuses to stay. Today I surrender these rough places so you may soak them in, your patience. I want to learn gentleness, which is not weakness but strength under control. I want temperance that chooses the good, even when impulse pushes elsewhere, and perseverance that waits like the farmer who looks to the sky and trusts the rain. If the sea of my emotions roars, let me learn to listen without being carried away, remembering that your voice rules the waters. Let each day add a small stone to the wall of virtue until, almost without realizing it, I find myself responding to life in your way. Lord, I want to grow in freedom. Free me from hidden chains, the fear of what others think, the hunger for approval, the need to control. Teach me to choose out of love for truth and goodness, even if it is less popular, even if it costs. Make me sensitive to your inspirations and steadfast against pressures, that my yes may truly be yes and my no may truly be no, with respect, with prudence, with charity. When I must renounce, let me do it with joy and not bitterness. When I must affirm, let me do it without harshness and with clarity. I want your justice to be visible in my decisions, balance in priorities, integrity in speech, transparency in action. Work also in my affections, Lord. Teach me to love in an ordered way first. You, who give meaning to everything. Then in you, those you have placed beside me, and by your grace myself, with healthy esteem. Let my heart not confuse attachment with love, nor permissiveness with mercy. Give me tenderness to embrace, and firmness to correct what destroys. Teach me to set boundaries that protect, to ask forgiveness without self-justification, to forgive without resentment or superiority. Let the weight of my affections fall on concrete works, listening with attention, serving without expecting reward, rejoicing in another's good as if it were my own. Lord, I long to grow in holy habits that sustain transformation. Grant me constancy to pray at real times, not only when I feel like it, discipline to meditate on your word with method and freedom, humility to examine myself each night, and recognize where I said yes to you and where I resisted. Awaken in me a delight for the sacraments, for community life, for service that forgets itself. Let every practice carve a furrow where your grace may run. And when I fail, let me not remain in sterile lament. Let me rise quickly, learn from the stumble, tune the instrument anew, and keep singing. I want to mature, Lord, in work and in mission. Help me unite competence with compassion, excellence with humanity, that my profession, whatever it may be, may become an altar where I offer my best, not idolizing it, nor letting it define me completely. Teach me to work with my eyes on the common good, to lead with service, to collaborate without rivalry, to recognize the merit of others without feeling that mine is diminished. If you entrust me with influence, let me use it to open doors, not close them, to lift others, not to display myself. Let those who work with me sense the fragrance of the justice. The psalm sings punctuality, honesty, kept promises, steady joy, respectful treatment. Father, give me a teachable heart. Let me accept correction without offense and offer it without humiliation. Give me wise teachers and loyal friends who will tell me the truth in time. Deliver me from self-sufficiency that refuses to learn and from false humility that hides to avoid growth. I want to read, study, ask, practice, discern, so that each day holds a lesson and each encounter an insight. And let what I learn not remain ideas, but become flesh, gestures, routines, and structures, so that your work in me is not a spark, but a dawn that steadily advances. Lord, I desire that my tongue reflect this transformation, that murmuring turn to intercession, corrosive criticism to prudent counsel, wounding jokes to healing humor. I want to speak of others as I would want them to speak of me with truth and benevolence. Teach me to celebrate aloud the good I see, to correct in private, to be silent when silence protects, to denounce injustice with serene courage. Let my Sunday Alleluia echo in the daily thank you, sorry, and please. Lead me to grow in hope, Lord, not a naive hope, but one anchored in your promise. I want to face the future without fatalism and without empty illusion, but with the sober joy of one who knows that you reign with justice. When the collective story seems to zigzag, let me not grow weary of sowing. When bad news shouts, let me not forget to sing. When injustice seems to prevail, let me work for concrete change without giving in to bitterness. Make me an artisan of hope who repairs, reconciles, builds, and perseveres. Lord, I also want to grow in the stewardship of time. Teach me to honor it as your gift, not wasting hours on what is empty, and not losing rest because of anxiety. Give me wisdom to mark rhythms of prayer, work, family, study, and recreation. Let my schedule applaud your reign, leaving margins for the unexpected, space for friendship, time for service, and pauses for contemplation. I do not want the clock to rule me, but with you to rule my charity. Lead me, Father, into a bolder love that moves from compassion felt to compassion lived. Help me identify a cause, a person, a concrete place where I can commit myself with consistency. Make me faithful, not occasional, steadfast, not impulsive. Teach me to waste time with those who need company, to waste resources on those who cannot repay, to risk reputation in defense of the voiceless. Let the new song of the psalm sound in the shared table, in the open door, in the embrace that dignifies. Mature my joy, not the kind that depends on weather or success, but the kind that draws from your presence sober and luminous, able to sustain others, to make duty gentle, to remind me that all is grace. If it rains today, let me sing anyway. If the sun shines, let me not be distracted from you. Let my joy not ignore tears, but neither hand them the baton. Teach my face to reflect peace, my hands to work with vigor, and my voice to resound with gratitude. I ask to grow, Father, in purity of intention. You see the heart and know why I do what I do. Purify my motives. If I seek to be seen, teach me to hide. If I seek to control, show me how to trust. If I seek my own glory, remind me of your cross and resurrection that reset every scale of value. I want to serve out of love, not calculation, to give out of generosity, not obligation, to obey out of trust, not fear. Let this be seen in the details, the way I greet, the way I listen, the way I make myself available for the small things. Teach me, Lord, to celebrate the process. Sometimes I want to arrive quickly and grow impatient with my own slowness. But you work like a craftsman, vine by vine, layer by layer, resting and returning to shape again. I want to embrace time, not with resignation, but with hopeful realism. If I take a step forward today, let me give thanks. If I step back half a pace, let me rise again. If I stall, let me ask for help. Let my story with you not be a sprint, but a steady march, sustained by grace. I consecrate this desire for transformation to your glory. I do not want to change to feel superior, but to love better. I do not seek a more efficient version of myself, but one more like your Son. Let my personal maturity be good news for my family, relief for my friends, support for my community, a sign for those who doubt, and rest for those who are burdened. Let the justice with which you govern the world, proclaimed in the psalm, become visible in my small plot in how I use money, how I treat time, how I speak, how I serve, how I forgive. And meanwhile, I will keep singing, for the new song does not wait for perfection, it provokes it. I will sing in the workshop where you mold me, in the furnace where you purify me, at the table where you send me. I will sing when I understand and when I do not, when I receive and when I give, when I win and when I learn. I will sing for what you have already done, for what you are doing today, and for what you will do in the end, when the rivers clap their hands, the mountains sing, and the whole earth acclaims the King who rules with justice. Make me, Lord, a disciple in growth and a witness on the way, and at the close of the day, let the echo of my journey truthfully say, you have done wonders, and my whole life was your praise. Lord, we arrive at the end of this morning prayer with the psalm, and my heart returns to the certainty that guided every word. You have done wonders, you have made your salvation known, and you reign with justice. Today I renew my decision to sing a new song, not only with my voice but with my entire life. I want this day to be a testimony of your victory, an echo of your faithfulness, and a humble announcement of your reign in my community. Let each step remind me that you are King, and let the joy of your government sustain what I undertake, correct what strays, and rekindle hope in what seemed extinguished. I take, Lord, all that we have prayed and place it in your wise hands. If I named wounds, heal them. If I confessed guilt, forgive it. If I presented decisions, guide them. If I offered desires for change, shape them until they bear fruit. Thank you for listening with patience, for answering in your time, for confirming with your peace. I do not want to leave your presence like one who closes a door. I want to rise from this prayer like one who opens windows, letting in your fresh air, bringing clarity to my sight, order to my thoughts, and readiness in the house of my soul for the tasks ahead. Lord, I declare over this day that your justice will mark my priorities, your mercy will inspire my gestures, and your truth will guide my words. Where there is haste, give me serenity. Where there is fear, recall your victory. Where there is discouragement, awaken gratitude. Where there is confusion, show me the next step, even if it is small. I want to live with the dignity of one who knows he is seen by you and accompanied by your Spirit, and with the humility of one who recognizes that all good comes from your hand. If my plans change, let my flexibility change as well. If crosses appear, let my trust appear too. If good news arrives, let gratitude arrive with it. I ask, Lord, for your blessing over my family and over all who will share part of the path with me today. Bless conversations so they may build up, work so it may dignify, rest so it may restore, and encounters so they may draw us closer. Protect health, guard our journeys, watch our comings and goings, and shield our hearts from temptations that drain. Grant unity where there are differences, respect where there are disagreements, and patience where there is weariness. Let our tables be places of gratitude, and our homes be refuges of peace, where your name is spoken with joyful confidence. Bless, Lord, my community. Let your justice become visible in the way we treat one another, in how we serve, in the words we choose, and in the stewardship of resources. Inspire those who lead, strengthen those who uphold, encourage those who stand in the rear, and honor those who serve without being seen. May each one contribute their note, so that together we sound the melody described in Psalm 98. Rivers, clapping their hands, mountains singing, the whole earth acclaiming you. May the works of this day, great or small, become instruments tuned to your will. Lord, I place under your blessing my work and my projects. I ask for excellence without perfectionism that suffocates, creativity without pride, collaboration without rivalry, perseverance without anxiety. May challenges not steal my calm nor achievements my sobriety. If I must learn, let me learn with joy. If I must correct, let me do so with respect. If I must lead, let me serve with generosity. If I must obey, let me do so with inner freedom. I want the righteousness with which You judge the world to be the measure by which I weigh my decisions and my efforts. Extend, Father, your blessing to those who need it most. Today, the sick who await comfort, workers who seek provision, students who require focus, the lonely who long for companionship, wounded hearts that yearn for restoration. Make us instruments of that blessing. Open our eyes to see, our hands to help, our hearts to include, our voices to encourage, so that no one is left outside the reach of a kind word, a timely gesture, or a concrete act of aid. Teach me to live attentively, for many of your wonders are born in the quiet of service. And now, Lord, I receive in faith a word of sending for this day. Send me to proclaim your salvation with my conduct, to sound the trumpet of hope in the midst of discouragement, to be a harp of comfort where sorrow weighs heavy, to celebrate your reign with works of daily justice. Send me to build bridges, to care for what is fragile, to defend what is true, to promote what edifies. Let my hours share your light, my decisions applaud your truth, and my silences preserve your peace. I want to walk knowing that your presence goes before me, accompanies me, and sustains me. Thank you, Lord, for this time. It was not an isolated pause, it was the beginning of a day with you. I praise you for what you have already done, for what you are doing even as I pray, and for what I will see as I walk forward. If the afternoon finds me weary, may it also find me grateful. If the night brings questions, may it also bring your rest. And when a new dawn comes, I will once again sing the new song, for your wonders never end, and your holy arm keeps working for those who wait in you. Before I go, Lord, I consecrate my heart to your peace. May no offense steal my joy, no praise make me forget the source, no frustration take away my gentleness, no success separate me from simplicity. Let me remember that all I am and all I have is yours, and that my best response will always be praise that becomes life, faith that becomes works, and hope that becomes perseverance. With the certainty that you will judge the nations with righteousness, and that your reign is good news, I lift my hands, even if only within, and declare blessing over those who listen and pray with me this morning. May the Lord bless you with clarity to decide, with joy to serve, with strength to endure the test, with generosity to share, and with peace to dwell in your own home. May the light of the Lord's face illuminate your path. May his hand uphold you when your step falters. May his voice guide you when noise surrounds. May his mercy reach you when you lack. May his justice defend you when needed. And may your life today and always be a new song to his glory. In the powerful name of Jesus. Amen. If this prayer touched your heart, I invite you to support this message of faith. Like, subscribe, and activate the bell so we may continue singing a new song together each day. Share this video with someone who needs hope, and leave your prayer requests and testimonies in the comments of what the Lord is doing. Your participation helps more hearts hear of God's victory and justice and join in this praise. Thank you for praying with us this morning. May the peace, joy, and blessing of the Lord accompany your steps, guard your home, and strengthen your heart. Let us walk today with gratitude, trusting in his justice and his faithful love that never fails. If this prayer has blessed your life, I invite you to keep growing in faith. Click on the recommended video on your screen and continue diving deeper into the Word of God. There you will find messages of hope, light, and spiritual renewal for each day. May God bless you abundantly.